Namaste. Because there was a request from my friend Srinivas Murthy to give a small introduction about Mela and Raga, I thought of doing that. So, Mela is just a way of classifying ragas, or Mela, or the equivalent name in Hindustani music is called Thaat. This is not a very new concept. This has been there for about at least 6 to 800 years. The earliest examples when the classification came to is we see is around Vidyaranya's time, which is 1300 AD. So it's just a way of classifying different ragas that exist in our music. Why do we need classification? It's just like why do we classify elements into in the periodic table? We know we have the elements from the oxygen family, we have the halogens, we have the inert gases and things like that. Similarly, depending on what swaras a raga takes, that is classified or put into different bins called Mela or Thaat. Mela actually comes from a Sanskrit word to mean to get together. So therefore, a Mela by definition is only a collection of notes, and it does not have to be a raga in itself. So if you ask me what is a raga, what is a Mela? A collection of notes does not automatically make a raga. Raga has several other characteristics that make it into a raga. So, for example, everybody knows Jana Gana Mana. It's in a Mela called we call in Western music a C major scale or Bilawal Thaat. If you look at the how it is sung, Jana Gana Mana Adhinayaka Jaya He, with plain notes, sa 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 ri ga 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 ri ga ma. It uses all the notes of a Thaat called Bilawal or Shankarabharana, but it is not really in Shankarabharana raga. Okay, so with that, how are then the notes, how are the melas then classified? If you see an octave, now I have the Shruti running in the background. Sa, pa, sa. The sa and pa are called the stationary notes because they don't have any variations, meaning there is only one variety of sa, one variety of pa. While the other notes such as ri, ga, ma, da and ni have more than one levels that they can take. In here, if you have a harmonium or keyboard, you can easily see each note corresponds to a note, right? So sa, the next note is re, re, ga, ga, ma, ma, pa, da, da, ni, ni, sa. So this is called a chromatic scale, where I just actually sang each key of the keyboard between a Adhara Shajja and the Thara Shajja. So in Karnataka Sangeeta, what we do is, there are three varieties for Ri, Ga and Dani, and the two varieties of Ma. In Hindustani, there are two of each. So there is a small difference actually. And when it comes to telling which Thaat a raga is, which whatever note it takes. For example, in case of Kannada, yesterday the discussion was how does it fall in Asavari. The Asavari Thaat takes the following notes: sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. These are the plain notes that come in Asavari Thaat. So that is not Asavari raga. While a raga such as Kannada, ga, ma, re, sa, da, re. you can see that the nominal value of ga is there, but the way how it comes in this raga is ga. It's actually oscillating between ga and ma. Ma re ga ma. So if you listen to that, actually both are doing the same, exactly the same frequency variation. Ga ma re. But the nominal level, they are very different from the nominal level. Then why did we actually need that nominal level? That is because there will be in between the gamaka, right? While this kampita or meaned, whatever term it is called, that's happening, that is the stable level, you can say, that this raga is taking, or it is closer to that note than to any other note. So you can put it that way. It's not definitely the sharper Gandhara, but the lower Gandhara. So that is what makes, say for example, Darbari Kannada fall in Asavari. And as Vivek Bhatt would say, that Kannada, which is Nane Bhagyavati Harinama Haripada Hariseveyinda, that is because it's taking the sharper Daivata. Sagamadani Sapagamari. Then why are both of them called Kannada? That is because in Hindustan it's called the Kannada Ang or Kannada feature. So because this is Gamari Sa, that is the characteristic of Kannada. So you have Darbari Kannada, which takes the Shuddha or the lower Daivata, and you have the sharper Daivata taking Kannada. And if you get into other ragas such as Abhogi Kannada, Sada Maga Mari Sa. So this is in Carnatic Sangeeta, we just call it Abhogi. Here they introduce the Kannada Ang, the Ga Mari Sa. So therefore this also falls into the Kannada family. So then any raga can fall in, can be taking any of the da, any of the ni, etc. Right? So the closest raga is the closest thought in Hindustani, because Hindustani is not a completely specified system. That is what I would say. It does not take into the all possible combinations. Therefore, a raga such as Ahir Bhairav, which takes notes outside of Bhairav, is put under the Bhairav thought. Sari ga ma pa da ni sa. This is the Bhairav thought, and we call it Maya Malagola in southern system. And Sari ga ma pa da ni sa. ಹೇಳುವುದು ಒಂದು ಮಾಡುವುದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನಂಬುವುದು ಹೇಗೋ ಕಾಣೆ ಪದ್ಮಾವತಿ ಪತಿ ತಿರುಪತಿ ಶ್ರೀ ವೆಂಕಟಾಚಲಪತಿ. This in Hindustan it's called Ahir Bhairav, and they have to put it in Bhairav thought because there is no better fit. In Karnataka Sangeeta, all the possible combinations of Ri, Ga, and they are completely specified. Therefore we say there are 72 Melakartas, 72 Melas. Now that's a better name than Melakarta. So any given raga will fall into one of those 72. So I hope this is a good introduction. We can talk about for hours, but this is probably the first Kadlekai Corner or the karaoke club video. Give me feedback, what you understand, what you don't, and I'd be happy to do more. Thank you.